In this video, we're going to give you an overview of how to go tubeless, as well as looking at what to consider before you take the plunge. My name's Dan Joyce, I'm the editor of Cycling UK's magazine, Cycle. If you're just interested in the conversion, skip to the time displayed on the screen. Tubeless tyres are becoming more popular now, and many people are deciding whether or not to make the switch from tyres with inner tubes. However, tubeless tyres aren't the answer to everything, or for every rider. Tubeless tyres work best for cyclists who ride off-road and for those who ride on-road on lightweight, fast-rolling tyres that puncture relatively easily. Tubeless tyres save you time at the road or trail side in terms of protecting you from the punctures you otherwise would have got, but you have to spend more time in the workshop setting them up. Tubeless is more expensive and more complicated than using inner tubes. You need to have tubeless compatible tyres and rims which have a tighter fit than tyres with inner tubes. If that hasn't put you off and you think that tubeless tyres are for you, let's have a look at the things you'll need. As well as tubeless tyres and rims, you'll need a track pump, a pressure vessel or a compressor, tubeless rim tape, tubeless sealant, tubeless valves, a valve core remover, soapy water, and tyre levers. First, prepare the wheel. Remove the tyre, inner tube and normal rim tape. If the rim is sticky or dirty, clean it with solvent first so that the tubeless tape will stick. Fit the tubeless rim tape. You can use 1 or 2 layers. 2 layers is better for a high pressure road tyre. If your rim has no spoke holes, you can omit this step. Pierce the tubeless rim tape. Fit the tyre loosely to the rim. Fit the tubeless valve. This has a rubber plug at the base to seal the valve hole in the rim. Tighten the valve in place with the knurled nut. You don't need these with inner tubes, but they're critical with tubeless, since they hold the valve in place. Fit the tyre like normal. Use plastic tyre levers if need be. There's no tube to pinch. Next, remove the valve core. Don't lose it. This lets you blast air in much better. Plus you can squirt the sealant in here, which is much less messy. Spray around the sides of the tyre with soapy water. This lubricates the beads of the tyre and helps it slide into place. Connect the air shot, a compressor also works, to the tyre valve using the threaded adapter. Make sure the air shot's valve is closed, then pump it up to 100 psi or more with a track pump. Flip the air shot's valve switch. Air will whoosh into the tyre. Hopefully it will inflate and the beads will pop into place with 1 or more sharp cracking sounds. Make sure the tyre is properly inflated and seated. Next, deflate the tyre. The tyre beads should remain in place. Put sealant in the tyre through the valve using a squeezy bottle and a plastic tube or a syringe. This is less messy than pouring sealant into the tyre then refitting it. Next, connect your air shot or compressor to the tyre and inflate it again that way. Then put the valve core in properly. Pump up the tyre with the track pump. Hold the wheel horizontal and give it a wobble to distribute the sealant. Spin it around too. If you can, put the wheel on the bike and go for a short local ride. This will make sure the sealant is properly distributed around the tyre and seals any gaps. So let's have a look at some of the things that can go wrong when you try and set your tyres up tubeless. If the rim tape won't stick down, fit an inner tube as you would normally and then fit the tyre. Inflate the tube and leave it for a while. The pressure of air in the tube will force the tape to stick down. If the tyre won't pop into place on the rim, the first thing you can try is spraying more soapy water onto the sides of the tyre. That will give more lubrication so that the tyre will pop into place more easily. The second thing you can try is to remove the tubeless valve and any sealant if you already put sealant inside. Fit an inner tube and inflate as normal. Then remove the inner tube, leaving the tyre in place on one side only. This way you've only got to fit one of the tyre beads when you fit it tubeless. The third thing you can try is also put the wheel horizontal with the unfitted bead facing downwards. You'll need a bucket or something like this to do this, so that you can lay the wheel over this and gravity will help you as you try and pop the beads into place with your pressure vessel. The final thing you can do if none of these things work is to fit an inner tube, pump it up and leave it overnight at high pressure. This will help stretch the bead slightly so that it will pop more into place more easily when you try again the next day. And if it still doesn't work, well, occasionally there are tyre and rim combinations that don't. Once you've got your wheels set up tubeless, there are still some issues that you can have. One of them is that sealant coagulates over time. This can be enough to clog up the valves so that you won't be able to get air in or indeed out. So you'll need to replace the valve cores perhaps once, maybe even twice a year. Another issue with the sealant coagulating is that if all of your sealant is coagulated, then there won't be any liquid sealant there to seal any punctures that you do get. Ordinarily, sealant will seal holes up to 2 or 3 millimeters across. If it's bigger than that, you'll need to put a tyre plug in to plug the hole before the sealant will have any effect. If the hole is much bigger than that, if you've torn the sidewall for instance, you'll need to put an inner tube in to get you home.
I hope you found this video useful, and with luck you'll enjoy puncture-free rides.